Hey everybody, welcome to the second game of my Steamroller. I went to a couple weeks ago. The first game, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for the weird ending. If you haven't watched it, go back and enjoy that one first before you go ahead and look at this one. But this is going to be with my Siege list, and this was one of the lists that I was also thinking about bringing for some major tournaments. So I was trying it out in this Steamroller, see how it was going to go. And you'll see in my Siege list, I've got the Stormwall being Siege's only Jack. Of course, I brought Reinholdt with him, and then I've got Junior running a Sentinel. Decided to bring the gun mages along with marshalling a Cyclone, and then there's a couple different reasons for that. For one, using the aiming bonus and the aim command from a Jack Marshal, I can get power 14, 2d3 power 14 shots from the Cyclone, which on Siege's feet turn is enough to mess up some pretty heavy infantry or put a hurt on a couple different lights or heavies, and that's not bad. And then throughout the rest of the game, it's good for infantry clearing, chaff clearing. I've got the Gunmage Captain Adept in there, Alten Ashley in there again for the no healing, and then threw in the Black 13th. I wanted to see how they were going to do. Once again, working with Siege, you get a power 10 and then a power 11, and then hopefully 2 power 12 armor-piercing shots, which is not bad, especially with brutal damage. So going to see how that's going to work out. I've played this list a few times since then, and I've pretty much kept it the same. So we'll see how this one's going. On to the battle report. I actually managed to win first turn again. So you'll see I deployed pretty much Sentry a little more to the left. We do have that water where my flag is sitting in is actually an asset pool. So if I decide to go to my flag, I'm going to get the continuous corrosion effect, which won't be too much of a deal, but it could be. If they leave you on 1 hit point and then your corrosion doesn't go out, you're kind of screwed. We do have this cool river running through the center, which we thought was awesome. The trench there that is just to the right of the zone we're actually going to be calling those just two walls, two linear obstacles with a bridge over the water. So on the bridge doesn't count for anything unless you're getting cover from the walls, and then they just count as normal cover. You get the couple forests, and then Alten Ashley on my side is actually sitting on a hill, and then he's got a small hill on his side that his tape measure is sitting on right there. So here's my deployment, pretty much central with everything. The Black 13th off onto the right side, and after my first turn, you see there I just pretty much ran everything up. Not an awful lot going on. Put down a foxhole on the hill so I can be in cover on a hill, which is nice for me. Puts me up to defense 20, I believe, if I'm doing my math correctly. And then spread out my gun mages enough so that they're not going to die to any weird sprays. Hopefully get them far enough away that my opponent won't be able to get into any sprays into me. And then the Black 13th sitting in there in the back waiting to clean up. On to my opponent's turn one. He moves up pretty aggressively using the Tharn blood pack to shoot down one of my gun mages. And then nothing else is really in range, but he did move everything up pretty aggressively. Keeping the Pureblood there on the left. I think it's a Pureblood. I'm going off the top of my head, but keeping the Pureblood in the stone circle, the stone triangles, so that he can teleport it if necessary. Other than that, he's got Ghetorix there up on that small hill behind the Sentry Stone Forest, and then he's got Kromac standing behind the Warpwolf Stalker in human form. So on to turn 2 for Cygnar. So my top of 2, I went ahead and towed the zone with the Stormwall, barely in range of the of the Warpwolf Stalker, but not in range of Ghetorix thanks to the rough water. He said he did not have Pathfinder, so hopefully that's true. But he didn't have Pathfinder for the game at least, and that helped me out significantly. Stormwall was able to put a couple shots into some of the Tharn blood pack, and a couple other shots, the the Cyclone, went ahead and put a couple shots in to clear up the, what I call trimming the hedges, cleaning off all those Sentry Stone Mannikins. Being able to get rid of all 3 Mannikins is a pretty big deal. Moved my foxhole up a little bit further in range of so I'm within walking range of the flag if I want to walk there next turn, but not actually in the asset pool yet. And then went ahead and switched turn. Alright, so you see my opponent there, he brought Hutchuk in, and you can actually see a little glimpse of my damage grid on this one, so that's nice. The Warpwolf Stalker went in on my Stormwall, and He either forgot to primal or doesn't have primal on this list. I'm not really sure. But that Warpwolf Stalker ended up not doing an awful lot of damage. So that's bad for... Oh, you know what it was? He forgot to put Wraithbane on it from his Pureblood. So he went in and he was going up against the Armor 22 Stormwall thanks to the Arcane Shield. And you can see the damage grid there. He didn't do an awful lot of damage to me. Hutchuk was able to come in and kill off Ryan, which is going to kind of suck for me, but Hutchuk's a pretty cool model. Good to see him on the table again. Ghetorix ran up into onto the bridge to get behind cover. And then he just kind of moved everything up, positioned it to where next turn he can be threatening with the Pureblood and with Kromac. Point of fact, I did not know Kromac was as powerful as he is. You don't see Kromac 1 too often. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so on my turn, Swamp Gobbers put down their cloud on his turn to block some line of sight, but didn't really do an awful lot, no problems for me. Siege goes up and toes the zone on the off chance that I can actually clear it. Went ahead and popped his feet, see my feet token laying down there. Put a ground pounder into the forest, was able to break 2 of the stones, kill off the Blackclad Wayfarer, I believe it was, and missed the Tharn blood pack that was there. Hit Kromac and did, I think, 23 points of damage to Kromac, who he transferred to the Pureblood. So that was good for me. 23 points of damage into the Pureblood, thanks to my feet and a power 14 boost damage. Then Stormwall walked over to Ghetorix and punched Ghetorix once, and punched the Warpwolf Stalker once, and did around 20-ish points of damage to both of them. A couple more points of damage went ahead and killed, or a couple more punches went ahead and killed Ghetorix. The Gun Mages and the Cyclone were able to kill off the Sentry Stone, and all but the 3, or kill off one more of those Blood Pack members, so they're down to just 3 of the Blood Pack members. My Black 13th attempted to kill Hutchuk, but he was not in my feet, so Ryan and the boosted PAL 12 from my Journeyman were unable to get any work done onto Hutchuk. They chipped away a couple points of damage, but not much. Fortunately, Siege is not really in trouble here, or at least I didn't think Siege was in trouble here from the Stalker, because he'd have to take a free strike to get to me, and I was not worried about the Pureblood getting to me because he wouldn't. He'd have to charge through my Sentinel. So I was thinking I was sitting pretty here. I thought I was up on pretty much the attrition side, up on the scenario side here in a second, because I just had to kill a couple more things. He didn't really have an awful lot to contest me with. And then he went ahead and beasted out with his caster, and we'll see how that goes in a second. Yeah, turns out when he beasts out and still has his feet, and he can walk 6 or 7 inches and then jump 5 more inches, he gets to base with Siege, and despite the fact that Siege had all of 1 focus on him, he was able to take Siege down pretty hard. I was not expecting that. Like I said earlier, you don't see Kromac 1 on the table very often, or at least I don't see Kromac 1 on the table very often. I'm usually seeing Kromac 2, and Kromac 2 does not have a jump. So I was not expecting him to be able to get around my models there. I thought he was going to have to get past the Sentinel, and that was just something I wasn't planning on. Probably really just bad positioning on my part, but either way, it ended up going really poorly for me, and I'll go ahead and chalk that up for a win. So I'll be 1-1 at the moment, and going into the Cool Kids bracket, as we call it. Great game though. I enjoyed. My opponent was gracious, and it was fun. I mean, I had 2 really quick games to start the tournament off, which is nice if you're doing a long tournament. If you're doing a short tournament, it's kind of annoying to have to sit around and wait for everyone else to get done with their games. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes, you know. But we had a blast. It was a good game, and my opponent even said if he couldn't pull that off, which he did have to pop his feet in order to pull it off. If he wasn't going to pull it off, he knew he was pretty much just toast. I mean, all of his battle group hit points combined, not including his caster, were at a total of like 14 or 15 hit points. So, and then his blood pack was dwindling quickly. So it was a good game. Stuff happens, and I'm still getting used to my biggest mistake always, if you've watched enough of my videos, is I tend to get my caster killed by moving him up too far. I did not have to have Siege anywhere near that front line to kill the important things. I should have just focused on killing his 2 big heavies and breaking that 1 stone that was up closest to the force, but I didn't. But hope you guys enjoy the game. I'm going to go ahead and get Game 3 out here in a little bit, hopefully. Hope I'll be able to get it out tonight, and let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good day, guys.